Welcome back, everyone.
On this episode of the TheInk-SideScoop, we are heading into Calgary. We will be sitting down with some of the crew at Radio Block Tattoo,
Getting to know the artists, their stories, and some of the tricks of the trade.
We believe great tattoos begin with education,
Grow through relationships,
are built on trust,
and are remembered through the stories they tell.
This is the TheInk-SideScoop.
And this is Radio Block Tattoo. Ready?
Good to go.
Good to go.
My name's Garret Egles. I've been tattooing 17 years.
What made you want to open up Radio Block?
I had helped open several shops over the years, and it really got down to the process of I loved making a shop happen, providing a space, and really wanting to push kind of my own zone. Radio Block is in a 1920s building, so I really went for that exact feel. The downtown shop is very tight. It's kind of an alleyway of artists. Everybody is within arm's length of each other, so conversation tends to flow. It's a maximalist environment. There's stuff to look at everywhere. It's a wow factor. We have the biggest chandelier in the tiniest shop. We have floor to ceiling things everywhere. So immediately just the wow factor steps in, and then you have a friendly face coming up and usually cracking a joke within the first 5 minutes, which I find to be absolutely endearing.
Were you always into art?
Growing up, I'd always watch my grandma paint, and my dad would kind of be more on the drawing side. So I would always ask my dad, hey, can you draw me this, can you draw me that? And then probably around the age 8 or 9, my dad would just kind of draw it yourself, but kind of more just in a encouraging way. And then he would kind of watch over me, and my grandma would kind of, and I don't want to say mean way, critique it, but she would be do better here, do better there. And that kind of just stuck with me and leading me to this. Yeah, I got tattooed first at 16.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of I love this. It was awesome. It was one of those things where you're just a kid in the candy shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still got the tattoo?
Still got the tattoo.
Not covered up?
I wish it was. And then just growing up in the hardcore scene, and then seeing people around with tattoos, and I was just I think this is gonna be my path. I just bombarded shops right out of high school, asking for apprenticeships, showing up with drawings. There's an old shop in the city, Body Ink, and at the time Ryan Gagne was working there, and I was just hey dude, you guys looking for apprenticeships? And he was just holy shit, we've seen you in here 10 times, put together a portfolio, bring it in next week.
How long did you apprentice for?
8 to 9 months. Yeah, I know they wanted me to start earlier too, but I knew I was I'm not ready. And I think it was close to almost a full year before I was okay, I think I'm ready to take on people that aren't my friends. It was about 9 months later, so.
How would you describe your style?
Yeah, I would say more on the traditional side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've stuck pretty heavily with that. I mean, sometimes I like to stray more towards, oh, I'll try a fine line tattoo, or kind of want to dabble more into black and gray, but kind of still with my trad twist. But at the end of the day, yeah, traditional is kind of my main thing.
Yeah. What drew you to that style?
I think a lot of it had to do with just my surrounding, just being in the hardcore community, seeing a lot of that, and just how bold and bright everything looked, and just seeing, people that I looked up to that with that stuff, and kind of rubbed off. And just seeing obviously how classic and timeless roses, skulls, panthers, eagles, all that stuff are. I would definitely like to do more black and gray, regardless if that meaning more realistic. I don't know, I don't know if I want to tattoo somebody's grandma on them. If it was more pop culture stuff. Perfect day off. Probably not drawing. No, there's some aspect there of probably drawing at some point, but I play a lot of music. That's kind of my main thing outside of this. I always just keep busy, whether it's music, side jobs, or spending my money on vintage t-shirts. That's my life in a box.
Do you think it's more important to specialize or to be a well-rounded tattoo artist?
I mean, I stick more towards maybe specialize in one specific thing. That way, if somebody has their mind on a specific style, they'd be oh, I want to go see this person because I know they'll crush it. But at the same time too, it being a double-edged sword, it doesn't hurt to have somebody oh, I know I can pull a clean line using, tiny needles, or, oh, trust me, I know I can do this black and gray tattoo.
If you had something that you wanted to tell an up-and-coming tattoo artist, what's your advice?
Take your time. Don't bite off more than you can chew right off the bat. I've seen so many people, they'll get into a shop and right away they're doing back pieces and full sleeves and stuff like that. And then they don't know how to properly execute it. And it's like, I don't even do that stuff all the time. So it's just like, what are you doing brand new doing this? I don't know. But as long as you take your time and you're surrounded by the right people, you're in great hands. You'll crush it. I met Sarah like going to shows. I'd see her pop around every now and then. But I remember seeing her pop up at the old shop I worked at, and her like asking advice on putting together a portfolio. And when I like saw it, I was like, she's got it. You know it's right.
Sarah, who works at the downtown shop, that's my go-to. She was my apprentice, and she's been my confidant. She's been the manager. She's been everything in that business. She understands how that place works almost better than me at this point. And so when she sort of stepped into the role of being a full-time artist out of her apprenticeship, I started actually trying to build that with her to ensure that if I were to step away, that it would be maintained by the right person.
When I was looking for an apprenticeship, I was kind of going all around to different shops that I, respected, that I thought would be great to get into. I'd never met Garret before. I'd never been tattooed by him. And I honestly was just coming to show him my portfolio. Garret and I chatted for like an hour, and then he offered me an apprenticeship, which I was like totally blown away by. I didn't expect it all. Garret has always been so supportive, pushing me to be the best tattooer that I can. Sometimes I wish that he was even more, like he was critical of like some things that I do, because he's just always like, you're the best, you're killing it. And I'm just like, no, I'm the worst. But no, Garret's amazing. I call him my tat dad. He's best. I have always been interested in like visual art. I really, really was drawn to doing like portraits of people and celebrities. Like during high school and kind of afterwards, I was really passionate about musical theater. That's what I thought I wanted to do for, the rest of my life or my career. I went to university for business, majoring in marketing, and then I quit to pursue touring with my band at the time, because I just wanted to do something creative. I didn't know where that was going to lead me. It wasn't making me any money, but I enjoyed doing it and I loved doing it. Going to shows and everything, I knew a lot of people and a lot of friends with tattoos. I had some friends in the industry, and eventually it led me to tattooing. Garret is phenomenal with his clients. He makes everyone feel welcome. He very much instilled in me that if you take care of your clients, they'll take care of you. What you put into tattooing is what you get out of it and what comes back to you. People are coming and trusting you to put your art on their bodies for the rest of their lives. And if you don't have the gratitude and the empathy for like their situation as well, and knowing that it is uncomfortable to come into this space, and to know that their opinions and their care is important to me. Although it's my art, this is their tattoo.
How would you describe your tattooing style?
I would say I lean definitely more towards American traditional. I like to say Canadian traditional. I feel like my color palette leans a little bit more to like the neo-traditional side of things. I have been dabbling a bit with realism. I've been trying to post more flash that kind of has like the traditional and the realism like mashed up all in one. And I would really like to do more of that. When I started doing more research about, tattoo styles, realizing that the classic Americana is timeless. And I just love the classic look. It never goes out of style.
Outside of tattooing, what do you like to do on your free time?
I feel like even on my days off, I'm still drawing and working. But if I'm not, I love to read. I read a lot of like romantasy and fairy smut. I love that. Just hanging out with my dogs. I love to go camping with my partner and fishing.
What do you personally look for when you're choosing an artist for yourself?
Seeing the consistency of their work is really important. Their healed tattoos is very important. Seeing that finished tattoo, and even seeing that tattoo in person is really important. I also think that word of mouth is important too. You know, if I know somebody that's been tattooed by this person, I'll ask them, what's their experience like? Are they a nice person? Did they make you feel comfortable? Or do they like align with your values as well?
What is your opinion on tattoo schools?
I do not have a good opinion about it. I think you can ask any respectable tattooer. Do not go to a tattoo school. I think it kind of shows that you really haven't done your research of the proper way to get into tattooing if you go to a tattoo school. I understand that people may have made that mistake and they think that's how you should get into it, but I would say if you are looking to get into a shop and become a tattooer, do not tell them you went to a tattoo school. You need actual shop experience. You need to learn from a mentor. You need to have respect and understanding that this is a medical environment. We're working with bloodborne pathogens, and that's no joke. You need that hands-on, in-person experience, 100%.
What makes your shop experience special at Radio Block?
We try to provide a fun environment, honestly. I think that's the biggest aspect.
My name is Mason Jenkins, Masonjenkins, and I've been tattooing for 8 years. And my tattoo style is like American traditional, but I try to do like kind of pop traditional. So a lot of it is like referencing pop culture, not always just like your standard eagle. I've been working here since March, and I don't know what month it is. It's June, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Wait, I don't know. Get back to me on that one. When I was really young, I would look up at Sarah Christine and I'd say, wow, one day I'm gonna grow up. I'm older than Sarah. One day I'm gonna grow up and be like Sarah Christine. Yep. I was an elementary school teacher. Shout out to all my students. I hope you all don't hate school. I was teaching elementary school. I have a minor in fine arts. And yeah, so I was teaching at an arts immersion school. I actually went to university for education, so my minor was like anything with fine arts credits. So a lot of my fine arts credits were actually from like the music program. Like I played double bass in the University of Alberta Symphonic Orchestra. I was the worst one, just if anyone was wondering. I was like 6th chair, and like double bass, that's like pretty bad. But I can play a mean recorder, so that's basically what I was doing with my elementary education career. Teaching kids how to do long division is just as like annoying as tattooing people, so the same amount of whining and complaining. So I'm used to it, it's fine.
My name is Simone Thorne. I've been tattooing for almost 4 years now. I've been at Radio Block since the beginning of March. Beforehand, I was at Blackbird Electric while that was still around, and that's where I apprenticed under Carrie Arthurs. I call it illustrative fine line black work, which I feel like is a very broad term. I feel like it's really hard to like narrow it down to something very specific. I've always like been really interested in like the macabre, dark art, horror movies, that kind of stuff, but then I also feel like I'm a relatively like soft and gentle person, and that I think that the work that I do like kind of like represents both sides of those things. Even when it is really creepy, I think it still has like a very gentle and soft vibe to it. Carrie Arthurs, she was kind of like one of the first people in Calgary doing this style, and I was really, really interested in it, so she's been a major inspiration for me. I was very lucky to apprentice under her, and like my favorite tattooer in North America, his name is Derek Noble. His style is nothing similar to mine, but his work inspires me so much.
Everybody does bring a very unique perspective to why that place works the way it does. So the moment that I had most of the team that I have, with the exception of the last 2 hires, which were people I really wanted, I already knew that I could step away prior to that. So 1.5 years ago when I left, I already had literally the best guards of the business standing there every single day. They work so hard to provide a great experience. They work so hard to make the environment inviting, kind, caring. They're all so competent and diligent with providing a great experience within the shop. So the moment that I saw that in all of them, I knew that I could kind of take a step back and work towards this business over here.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so nervous.
No, don't be nervous.
Okay. Don't put that in.
We can cut it out.
Okay, I got